besides Ashley.
And James.
And we're just going to give an update on where we are with IVF. We did our FET, frozen embryo transfer, at the beginning of the month.
Yep.
So we had to prep. Leading up to that, I had doctor's appointments to check uterine lining, and I had medications, and then basically when my body was deemed ready, they set the date, and we went out to Arizona and did the transfer. So
yeah, the actual transfer, the process was pretty short. We drove out one day, had our transfer the next day, and then drove home the last day. So it was a much shorter trip, and basically that involved the doctor using a catheter to put the embryo directly in Ashley's uterus. So I think the whole process that morning took about 45 minutes. It was relatively quick. I believe it wasn't as painful as the retrieval.
No, it wasn't painful. It was just, I think so you have to empty your bladder an hour before the procedure, and then I couldn't use the restroom again until after. And after emptying my bladder, I had to drink 32 ounces of water. And I think where I went wrong is that I started drinking the water like an hour before, like basically I emptied my bladder and then started drinking the water. And so by the time we got to the doctor's office, I already had to use a restroom. And so, by the time the procedure happened, I felt like I was gonna have an accident. And so I don't think that the procedure would have been painful, but I have never in my adult life felt so much like I was going to have an accident. And so that was painful. But I don't think the actual procedure would have been painful otherwise. It was just really uncomfortable. Because I had to use the restroom.
And I was just basically there for moral support and watching Ashley try to not have an accident, and then drove her back to the hotel. We just stayed at a hotel this time because it was going to be such a quick trip. But after that, after the transfer was complete, we were pregnant. We were technically pregnant for the first time in 4.5 years.
4.5 years of trying.
So it was, we were pretty excited. We didn't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but you can't help it. But after all this time trying and having so many issues, and finally be technically pregnant, we were very hopeful. The doctor and the nurses, and they do their best to give you to make you feel like, hey, well, best of luck, and hopefully it works out. But they know the deal. So after that was basically it. The doctor said, don't take a pregnancy test on your own. You're gonna do blood work in 10 days. And we had to wait 10 days to get the blood work done to confirm that the embryo was still there, and that was a long 10 days. We were very anxious, but Ashley, being the rule follower that she is, she didn't take her own pregnancy test
until the 10th day.
Until after she did the blood work, and then technically she listened.
Technically, I listened. I took a pregnancy test on day 10 and got a faint positive, which it was faint, so it didn't really ease my nerves any, because I was like, "Whoa, what does that mean?" That's exactly why they tell you not to do it. But whatever, we did it. So we got, because my doctor, or our doctor, is out of town. It takes a little longer, so we got the blood results the next day, and we found out we were pregnant. And we were so excited.
And Cora was extra thrilled. After every single doctor's appointment we've ever had, she's always, when we come home, she's asked, "Is there a baby in mommy's belly?" And the answer was always no, but for once we could tell her yes. So she was thrilled. And we were, we were very, very excited and extra hopeful.
And we didn't set her up for failure. We told her the way we explained it is the doctor puts the baby back in the belly, but the baby still has to grow. And so if the baby doesn't grow, we're going to have to try again. So we did, let her know that there's a chance that the baby wouldn't grow. But, we were all excited. And then you have to take a blood test. So after the first beta, if that's positive, you have to take a blood test 2 days later to make sure they want to see that beta number double, at least double. And if it doubles, that means the embryo is growing at an appropriate rate. So what ended up being more like 5 days later, unfortunately, because the blood test was on a weekend.
Hiccup with the lab or, the doctor's office, who knew, or whatever.
They called me with the first results more than once, because I don't know if the lab accidentally sent the same paperwork over, from the first beta instead of sending the right one. So anyway, 5 days later, my doctor's office ended up having to call the lab, and they unfortunately let us know that the beta numbers went down. So we went from 27.6 to 11.6. And so we found out we were losing the embryo. And we were heartbroken. It was such like a high moment for us to find out that it worked. Because, having unexplained infertility and all my numbers, blah, 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 everything looks good. I thought that our problem was going to be that the embryo wouldn't implant. And so when I found out that it did after the first beta, I was like, oh my gosh, this could happen. And, we let our guard down a little bit.
It's hard not to, know.
You get through
You're
one
so excited.
step. Yeah.
Yeah, we were literally getting close to crossing the finish line and then, winning the race, and then we tripped and fell, so it's tough.
Yeah. It's hard. Because you open up your heart and you put yourself out there, and you put all this time and energy, and especially, it's like we could touch it. We were there a little bit, a lot farther than we've ever been.
We had our picture of the embryo, We had a positive pregnancy test the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And, it was such a big letdown. And I feel like we went from almost there to starting all over. And it's like, it just makes it feel impossible to me. Sometimes, it feels like an impossible dream.
So now, hopefully we can try again in October. That's the tentative schedule. Everything has to go right from between now and then to get an October transfer date. But we're hopeful that things will go good and that we can try again in October. So.
Yeah, so and that's the other hard part about all of this stuff. It's like you got this like crushing defeat, and then you have to turn right back around and try again. You don't have to, but it's like, how long do you want to wait? How long have we already been waiting? And so what do? Lick our wounds and feel sorry for ourselves? Because ultimately that's not going to make us feel better. Sitting around and like letting ourselves heal for however, because we don't heal, that's really the bottom line. We don't heal from any of this stuff. It's extremely traumatic. And I don't think we will really truly begin to heal until we have a baby. If we do. And again, you know, it makes people really uncomfortable when I say that if it happens. And, you know, when we told close friends and family, when we got the first positive beta, that we were pregnant, but, you know, we're pregnant, but this is step one. And we had a family member, you know, tell us, you have to be, well, told James kind of repeatedly, you have to be positive and you have to have faith, and we don't, you know, we don't. Why do we have to be positive? Why? I mean, time and time again, year after year, month after month, you fail and fail and fail, and we're as hopeful as we can be given what we've been through, what we continue to go through. You know, we appreciate all the positivity. We appreciate so much the support from everyone, and we love that we have so many people rooting for us. And I don't think they should not be positive for us, but I mean, can you blame us? Can you blame us for thinking of the worst and just kind of bracing for impact? Look at all the effort over the last few months. Look at everything we've poured into this process, and look at our result. We failed. It failed. It didn't work. I am not pregnant. So I am allowed to feel sad. I am allowed to be scared. I am allowed to have my hope waver. Because this is soul crushing. And you know, we have as much hope and faith in this process as we can. If we truly 100% didn't think it was gonna work, we wouldn't be doing this, you know? We wouldn't be putting ourselves through this if we didn't think, at least a little piece of us didn't think that it could work. But I can't paste on a smile and act like I'm okay, because I'm not. I am not okay. We've been through so much. Most of the time we are okay, but right now we are not. Because it sucks. And it's hard. But we're gonna try again.
Yeah, that's where we are. I mean, kind of have no choice but to try again. I mean, we hope for the best, and you know, we'll make sure to provide more updates and you know, let you know how it goes. And we really do appreciate all the support we've been given by so many friends and family, and even people that we don't know. We thank you for your support, and we hope that you continue following us on our journey, and hopefully our next video we can have some better news.
Yeah.
Until then, thank you.